From the edge of the ancient city of Olbia on the spectacular island of Sardinia in Italy, it's round number 4 of the 2022 UAM Formula One H2O World Championship for powerboating at the Italian Grand Prix Regione, Sardinia. Hello everybody, I'm your host Stephen Michael, and joining me for our 21st year together, former world champion Jonathan Jones, and we welcome you to the shores of the Gulf of Olbia, just a short distance to the spectacular Mediterranean Sea, as drivers from 3 different continents get set for 70 laps in their continual chase for a coveted world championship in the F1 Powerboating Series, the Italian Grand Prix of Regione, Sardinia. Now, the spectacular Italian island of Sardinia is world famous for its beauty, elegance, and history, bringing tourists to this playground in the Mediterranean Sea year-round to visit its dramatic shoreline, inter-island valleys, and lovely crystal-clear waters, with the beaches that surround the island rated annually as the best all-around in the southern European continent. Now, Sardinia isn't just the lovely scenery, however. It has a great history that highlights this, with numerous religious and cultural festivals and architectural sites like the famous New Agay that attract people from throughout Italy and neighboring countries as well. Now, the historic 2,700-year-old city of Olbia, by the way named after the Greek word meaning happy city, is known for its medieval basilica, along with its continuous cafes that extend throughout the city, making it a must to just sit outside and enjoy the most year-round sunshine and warm breezes well into the evening. Now, Jonathan, it's hard to believe it's been 18 years since we last came to Sardinia. What are your thoughts of this fascinating and spectacular place?
Well, there's no question, as an island, it is the place to come in Europe for holidays. It's absolutely spectacular, the beaches and just everything about the place. Third time we've raced here now. First of all, we raced in Portocervo up in the north, then we went to Cagliari, which is down in the south, and this is the third time now we're back here and we're racing in Olbia, and it's just a fantastic place to come, not only for the racing, as I said earlier, for the holidays and the scenery. It's just spectacular.
Well, the lovely island of Sardinia has it all, with the sea, the history, and the culture, and endless fun. Come to Sardinia and live the life, your life to the extreme, a Sardinian dream. Now, this race circuit on the Gulf of Olbia has been fine-tuned 3 times for today's Grand Prix. It's the shortest in the modern era at less than 1.2 kilometers. It's truly a bull ring. Jonathan, let's get into it and what it takes to win on this circuit today.
Well, there you can see the circuit in front of us. We've got 6 turnboys, or 6 corners of variant angles. And as you can see, we go down past the start-finish line into the far end of the circuit, and then the boats throw themselves back and down that long back straight. That's where you want to watch out for overtaking. Then they come to the top end of the circuit, and it's really tight then as they come down past the start-finish line. And I think overtaking is going to be so difficult here. So the start is going to be crucial for all of these boats this afternoon.
All right, as we take a look 3 weeks ago here in lovely San Nazaro, just south of Milan on the Po River, the UIM Formula One H2O World Championship held a unique doubleheader with back-to-back Grand Prix for the second and third rounds of this championship. Hey, we jump on board with rookie sensation Alec Vekstrom of the Gilman Racing Team in a strong battle with Sharjah team in the early going, as Dutchman was the driver Ferdinand Zandbergen, with the front runners going through. Celio's hope of a podium finish was really tough. He had it all melted away as he and Norway's Marit Stromoy got together as he came out of the corner. And yes, on the 18th lap, they had a huge crash, while 4 laps later, young Italian driver Alberto Comparato climbs over the top of 3-time world champion Philippe Shep, eventually with both going out of the race. And in the end, it was the American Sean Torrente picking up his second in a row, with Jonas Anderson and Vekstrom coming in third. Now, the next day, the Italian Grand Prix on Sunday, saw world champion Anderson jump the start early. And as the field took off safely through the opening laps, we go on board with Polish driver Bartek Marszałek as he fights through traffic, and major disappointment for French driver Philippe Shep as he pitted with a bad prop. And the yellow flag comes out on lap 28 when young rookie driver Kali Vipo stops on a straight. But then on the restart, it was all about rookie sensation Ferdinand Zandbergen, who wins his first ever Formula One race. And then with Alquimsi coming home in second, and more importantly for Sean Torrente, he finished third to keep his podium streak alive at 3. And with 2 wins and 3 podiums, Torrente leads this Drivers' Championship with 52 points. And still a long way to go. Well, drivers from 3 different continents and 9 different countries are lined up at the start pontoon ready for today's Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 43rd Formula One race here in Italy for powerboats at the Italian Grand Prix. On the pole, Thani Alquimsi, the fastest lap ever with a 29.92. He starts 0.2 of a second ahead of the young Italian Alberto Camperato, the only Italian driver in the field. Sean Torrente leads this championship, 2-time world champion, starting in 3rd. Jonas Andersson, current world champion, 4th. Sami Selio, 2-time world champion, in 5th. And then Vekstrom, the driver who is from Finland, starting in 6th spot. Then Marit Stromoy Zandbergen, who won the last race. Philippe Shep, 3-time world champion. Kalle Vipo and Marzuak, the Polish driver, Desertan. And there's the rest of the field. As you can see, these drivers are ready to charge their way around this race circuit today. Well, I'll tell you something. Sean Torrente, winner of 2 of the first 3 races, talks about how his qualifying position and his race strategy goes for today's Grand Prix.
So starting 3rd today. Good qualifying yesterday, not great. Teammates on pole, which is awesome. Actually, Tani had an amazing lap, his first pole in a long time for him, so I was really, really happy for him. And then we have Camperato in between us, and I think I have Jonas on my outside. So, like always, it's going to be important to get to the first corner. It's going to be important to get a good start. And then once we're racing, I can handle myself after that. So try to go forward, try to secure a 1-2 for Abu Dhabi, and if I have a chance to win the race, of course, try to win the race.
Well, we'll see if he can do it this afternoon. Now, hometown hero for Italian fans will be young Alberto Camperato. He's starting 2nd with a good chance to win his first career Grand Prix. And he told us just moments ago how he plans to handle it in today's race.
So we went out quite early, but had a small problem on the engine. We picked up the boat, tried to fix it, to test some new prop. Went out again and same problem happened. So now I hope my guys will fix for the race. So we start from P2, always near Tani. It's like 2 years that we start side by side, so we are used to. But I will try to overtake him and take the lead. And then it's a long race, short circuit. Will be rough and a lot of traffic, so we see.
Well, quiet confidence for the young Italian. Now, defending world champion Jonas Andersson was battling issues yesterday, and he tells us his hopes and his strategy for this afternoon's event.
Yeah, we had some problem yesterday with the engine in Q3, so I'm starting 4, and it's going to be very challenging in the first laps because the course is very, very short and very small. So, but I mean, it's same for everybody, so hopefully we can make a good start.
All right, Jonas Andersson looking to turn things around. He did it last year. After the opening round, he failed to get any points, but then he went through the rest of the season winning the final 2 events and stealing his first world championship. Good for him. And now 32nd board comes up. We're just seconds away from the start. We hold our breath here as we'll have 2 starts. The top 10 boats will take off first, and then they will hold the rest of the field, the last 5 boats, for about 3-4 seconds, and then they will go. We got 70 laps around this afternoon. As we get set to go, we wait for the anticipation. The lights come on, the first row, second row, and now we wait for the lights to go out, and they're underway. They explode away from the dock, and they're off, and 70-lap Odyssey is underway, and 10,000 horsepower is being unleashed as they take off at a great start for the young Italian Alberto Camperato in a drag race, 450 meters down into the commitment buoy, side by side. Thani Alquimsi slams the door on the young Italian as he holds his lane as they come out of turn number 7, and they come racing by. Thani in first, and with Camperato second, and a good run for third. The battle between Sean Torrente and Jonas Andersson sticking his nose in there, Jonathan.
What an unbelievable start there from the pole sitter, Thani Alquimsi. He's got some clear water ahead of him now, Steve. He hopefully can build up a little bit of a cushion between him and the second placed driver at the moment, the young Alberto Comparato, who's doing a great job out there for Italy. Jonas Anderson now moved up a little bit on Sean Torrente, so he's now up into third, and he's cut Sean out as he comes down past the start-finish line. Torrente having to back off, and Anderson making some solid progress.
Yeah, Torrente had to back off on Anderson's spray, had to cut through it. He lost some ground, so he's gone from third to fourth. He's got to be upset about that. Remember, Torrente's got a 17-point lead on the championship with the leader, and all of a sudden, oh no, a boat's going out of play over on the far corner. It looks like it could be Kalle Vipo, Jonas Anderson's young teammate, pulling off the race course down at turns number 4 and 5. Will that bring out the yellow flag? We'll have to wait and see. Vipo is out of harm's way, but it may not be good enough for the officials, as right off the bat here on this 70-lap Odyssey this afternoon, yes, the yellow flag is coming out, as Luis Ribeiro, the race director, has decided it's just a little bit too dangerous for the drivers as they slide through turns number 4 and 5. What a shame for the young driver from Finland, and for Kalle Vipo. He was hoping to finish a race this year for Vipo as he comes through. He finished the first 2 events. He dropped out of the race at the Grand Prix of Italy in the 3rd round 3 weeks ago. He qualified 10th today, and he will not get past lap number 2, Jonathan.
Yeah, but Thani, what a start with the Team Abu Dhabi driver there. He pulled about 2.16 seconds on Comparato, and he had that clear water ahead of him, and of course it's all come to nothing now with the restart. But Jonas in that 3rd slot came around the outside of Sean Torrente there. Sean, I don't think he was caught napping, but he just didn't seem to have the punch out of that turn number 5, and Jonas came right the way around the outside of him, cut in front of him, and started to take the place away from him. But great progress by Jonas, and but it's all to play for now going forward. I remember this morning, Steve, that the UIM official said make sure that you do not pull up alongside the guy in front of you. So what's going to happen now? You're going to have number 1 on the inside, number 2 on the outside, number 3 on the inside as they line up for a restart.
Interesting to see where on this race circuit they elect to let them go and fly through after a green flag. Who will have the advantage? Outside, inside door? We'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. Now remember, the start was 2 separate starts, the top 10, and then they had a 3 or 4 second delay, and then the rest of the field, the final 5 drivers, took off. By the way, a special hello to Peter Morin, our driver from France, who is not here this weekend. We wish him all the best, and him coming back and healing from COVID-19. He's got that. He's back in France. We miss you, buddy. We hope to get you back at the next round in September, when we have another doubleheader weekend in Sharjah in the mid-December. That'll be really exciting. And speaking of exciting, we're all excited about the addition of a brand new venue, Lake Toba, Indonesia. We're heading there. It's a gem of a place, a natural paradise in February. What a great way to start 2023, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's already looking really strong for next year, Steve. COVID has put Formula One powerboat racing on the back foot for a little while, but we do know that IG Marketing, that have been working really hard on some new venues, have secured quite a few places for next year. We're back in Sardegna again for round 2 next year, but the first Grand Prix is going to be in Indonesia. First time, as you said, at Lake Toba. Indonesian tourism are really pushing hard, and they're going to be utilizing powerboat racing over the next, I think, 5 or 6 years to actually promote Indonesia as one of the places to come on holiday globally. So great new venue. We've had lots and lots of information about it, Steve. The place is just quite spectacular, so really looking forward to that for round 1 of next year's championship.
Who's gone backwards? Who's gone forward? The losers so far, Marit Stromoy. She's dropped down to 14th spot after starting up in the 7th position. And then Alec Vekstrom, who started and qualified 6th, he's all the way down in a 13th position. He was having a bit of a few engine issues, and right now it's not helming him out at all. So Duarte Benavente's moved up a few spots. So he's doing his best. Cedric Deguine is up into 11th spot. Alexander Bourgeot, look at a great jump from him. He started 15th. He's up to 10th. So the young rookie Frenchman has moved up 5 spots already in this race. And of course, the big talk is Torrente going from 3rd to 4th. Jonas Anderson moving up into the 3rd spot. And really, when you think about it, Jonathan, Thani Alquimsi may be the driver of the year so far. Why? We talk about Torrente, but Thani finished 2nd on the podium. He got penalized in the 2nd race, but then he qualified 2nd and finished 2nd. So he's been on the podium. He could have been on the podium all 3 races, but he got penalized in that 2nd race of the year. And right now he is out there in the lead, and he is going to try to get the clear water and the whole shot to take off from it here.
One of the guys on the move, Steve, Philip Roms, the young Finnish driver. He's up in 9th. He started in 14th position. So with just 3 laps of this Grand Prix run, I mean, he has sized his way through the field and doing a great job. Bear in mind that Roms, he hasn't sat in a boat until this weekend for quite some time.
November.
So when you think about it, November. So when you think about it, that guy is doing a great job out there for Team Gilman.
All right, good point here as we take a look now. They continue to move Kelly Vipo's boat. It's being up on the crane. It's going out. We've got 14 drivers left to go here. 9 laps in the record books. We're glad you're with us today here for the 4th round of this UIM Formula One World Championship. Stephen Michael, your host. Jonathan Jones alongside, multi-time world champion and multiple winner here in Italy. Actually, the first in Sardinia especially. And in Sardinia, you had the first 3 podiums in a row. Green flag's back out. Here we go in the back straightaway. And Thani Alquimsi gets a great jump on the rest of the field as young Alberto got caught a little bit, had the anchor out. Now he's trying to reel in the leader, but Thani Alquimsi got the whole shot in clear water, and look at him go, Jonathan.
Wow, what a restart there. Everybody else was caught napping a little bit, but Thani, he put the hammer down and he has pulled a massive gap between himself and Comparato, who's in that 2nd position. Steve, we talked a little bit about Comparato. I could see that they had the engine off the back of the boat probably an hour, hour and a half before this event. They had a technical problem. Let's hope that they've sorted that out as we carry on. But Jonas now slowly again making some ground up. He started in 4th. He's now up to 3rd, and he's starting to put some pressure on the young Italian driver.
2 things to keep an eye on, Jonathan, as this race continues on. First, when the back markers start coming into play, the leaders start catching up to the slower traffic, and the people behind them trying to see if they can hesitate at all and take advantage and slide through the picture. And the second thing is, there's a great battle going on right now for 3rd place as Jonas Anderson's trying to make good his escape away from Sean Torrente, but Torrente's feeling the heat from behind by Celio. Those 3 drivers are so very close right now. Torrente pulling a little bit farther away from Celio this lap. He's trying to catch up on Jonas Anderson as they come through turns number 1.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there, Celio. He's starting to make up some solid ground. He didn't have the best of starts this weekend, and after the carnage of the Italian Grand Prix 3 weeks ago, where unfortunately he turned the boat over, he had that collision, and they've worked night and day to get that boat back in perfect working order, in racing trim and everything. Doing a great job out there. But back again, Jonas now having some pressure from Sean Torrente. Sean Torrente going to the outside, Jonas on the inside. Jonas trying to keep just ahead of him, but there's a big battle going on there for that 3rd position.
All right, Sean Torrente has set the fast lap of the race so far with a 30.7. He's looking at it right now. He's about 5.5 seconds behind the leader, his teammate Thani Alquimsi. So Team Abu Dhabi 1 and 4. As we talked about, Jonas Anderson, Sean Torrente, and Celio's dropped back just a tad, but he's going to try to nip at the heels. He's a good 2 seconds back behind Torrente at this point.
Yeah, you can see the gap there, pretty much even Stevens now over the last lap and a half. Comparato there just going out of sight a little bit. Sean Torrente you can see coming into shot, and Jonas Anderson trying to take a tighter line, the shortest route around this circuit. Jonas on the inside, Comparato on the outside. That gap is definitely closing as we pick up Comparato again. You can see Jonas on the outside definitely closing that gap. Steve is down to 1 second.
There you see Comparato on the left, now shifting to the right of your screen. On the outside is Torrente trying to catch up on that red boat of the world champion Jonas Anderson, who's back in 3rd. The drivers now comes into play. They're catching up to the back markers, the slower drivers. Now let's see on this short bull ring of a race course that they were qualifying times of a 29.92, which was an all-time record in the modern era yesterday. This morning in practice, they were running 27s. So it's even faster. Here in the race, though, nobody's cracked the sub-30-second mark as they go on the race course.
Steve, back markers now coming into play, and because this is such a tight circuit, a lot of these back markers are going to find it difficult at times to get out of the way for the lead drivers. So picking up Jonas again there now, you can see that Comparato just got ahead of that one of those back markers. He did pull to the outside, give him some ground. Jonas coming again on the inside. You can see how close he's getting to that second place position. He is driving all he can to try and close that gap. That boat is running superbly well with him. As he said yesterday, he had one or two problems, and he's obviously got them sorted out for the Grand Prix today.
Yeah, now we talked about him yesterday in qualifying and practice. He looked lightning fast in practice, and you pointed out to me he could be the fast boat around here this weekend. But then he started having a bit of a mechanical issue. He was chasing that just a bit. It was good enough for him to get up into the fourth spot in qualifying just behind Torrente. But now in race trim, boy, it looks like he's dialed in. And now he's really pushing Comparato hard on the outside. Difference between the two is only about 5 boat lengths, as you can see them work their way down into the far turn and down at 2 and 3.
Yeah, Jonas looking for some clear water there now on the outside. Steve, you could see Comparato on the inside. Jonas switches to the inside. It is not Bentuck as they go down the back straight line.
And again, back markers end of the way right now. That's the French driver, Cedric Teguin, who's in 11th place. And now flipping ahead, there goes Jonas Anderson. And he's moved into second place. And he's worked his way around the young Italian, Alberto Comparato, on an ace of a move. As they come by, as they go pushing their way through. And now Torrente's doing his best to work around some back markers with Celio nipping at his heels. But what a great move that was put down on the water as they fight their way around this race circuit. Thaniel Quimsey trying to make good his escape as he is almost 6 seconds ahead of the second place driver as he comes whistling by. And Jonas Anderson now with between he and the driver, Alexandre Bourgault, is in a 9th position as he tries to catch up with, right now, Jean Torrente right there in that 4th spot.
What a great move there. That's really down to experience, Steve. You know, he was playing around with Comparato. He moved to the outside, he moved to the inside. You could see Comparato watching in his mirrors, not knowing exactly where he was. And then he dummied coming into one of the corners. Comparato went out wide. Jonas came on the inside and bang, he was away and into that second slot. And it's now slowly but surely 4 seconds behind him, behind Thaniel Quimsey, the Abu Dhabi driver, and really closing down on him now.
All right, here you see Comparato on your right, the youngster. Look at Torrente, 2-time world champion, nipping at his heels. Oh no, we've lost Rams. You were talking about how the young Finnish star was doing well. Well, he's dropping out of the race. We haven't seen him since November, getting his first opportunity in about 10 months to run. He got 19 laps in. We have now got 48 laps left, 22 in the record books of this long 70-lap race, but we're clicking the laps off at 30-second time frame, so it won't take long to run this Grand Prix this afternoon. It's intense, it's exciting, it's fast on the water. We hope you're enjoying it all as we watch the competitors now fight their way around this race course. It's a small bull ring, 1.2 kilometers. And here's the pass again on the outside. As you said, put in a dummy here. Jonas Anderson goes from right lane, outside, inside. See you later. Adios. I'm airmailing it back to you. I'm now in second place. You're in third.
That was a great move by Jonas, wasn't it? And as I said earlier, that is really down to experience. Steve, the gap is closing. 2.99 between Jonas and that lead boat of Thaniel Quimsey. 2 laps ago, it was 4 seconds. So he's closing down on the lead boat by 1 second a lap. Such is the pace of Jonas Anderson out there this afternoon.
Can he hold it? Will he be able to continue through? Jonas Anderson this year sitting in the 3rd spot for the world champion. He's got a 5th at the first race. He got on the podium in the second race. And then the last race in Italy, he was 4th after qualifying 4th. So he is moving northbound in a hurry. He was in 4th. He's up to 2nd. He is the man on the move, and I continue to keep an eye on that 3rd place battle as one of the boats is slowing down on the inside. Jonathan, down at turn number 7. May we bring out a second yellow flag? As the boat's going to the inside, it looks like it's Bartek Marzoak. What a shame for the Polish driver as he pulls off down in turn number 7. And for Bartek, he has come to a slow close. He's finished all the races so far until today, and it looks like race number 4 will be his Waterloo, as he won't be able to finish, but he's smart. He got out of harm's way and keep the green flag going here. 25 laps in the record books, 70 total today. So we got 45 laps left to go, Jonathan.
Steve, 1.55 seconds now between the lead boat of Thani Al-Quamsi, the Abu Dhabi driver, and Team Sweden's Jonas Andersson. He is closing that gap very, very quickly at the moment, and they're again up against back markers. Steve, could Jonas take Thani in the next lap or two? Only time will tell.
All right, 1 second, the difference between Comparato and Torrente, as Torrente's trying to reel in the young Italian and send him farther and farther back in this finishing order this afternoon. He had all hopes, the youngster did, of winning his first Grand Prix and his 12th Grand Prix start. A talented young driver of the future, but right now Torrente's trying to do his best, and it looks like Celio's closing up now on Torrente. The difference between these two drivers is about 2.5 seconds, so Celio has found some speed. Maybe Torrente's going at a little bit of a slower pace. Last time around, Torrente did a 3.299 through traffic. Celio did a 3.184. That's 1.1 seconds faster, and it shows visibly on the race course.
Yeah, and you can see that Comparato, he hasn't quite got the pace of the two lead boats at the moment. You can see Sean Torrente again on the outside, trying to do everything he can. It looks like Comparato may have a problem, Steve. Sean Torrente has moved up that one slot.
All right, Sean Torrente going from turn 1 into turn 2, nipping at the heels of the young Italian. And Torrente, a yellow flag coming out. Yellow flag on the race course. And we look around this small bull ring of a race course, and they are bringing the yellow flag out, race director, just as Torrente was getting himself lined up in a big effort, coming to a stop down in the corner.
I think that's Comparato.
It is. It's Comparato. No wonder Torrente made it around it with so much ease. What a shame for the young Italian who lives just outside of Venice, as Comparato came into this event 9th in points, was 7 on the year, and he dropped out of the first 2 races. He qualified 5th. He finished his first race in Italy, and let's take a look at it as the ill-handling boat, and look at how easily Torrente went right by him. So obviously it looked like the young Italian's got a major problem on the race course in the boat, and Torrente just said thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation for 3rd place. I'll take it.
Yeah, we knew, as I said, I did see that they had that engine off the back of the boat about an hour and a half before the start of this race, and they obviously had some kind of technical problem. I did hear that it was something in one of the cylinders that didn't look quite right, and unfortunately it looks like those gremlins have crept up on him during the race. We see young Comparato there, who was doing a great job out there today, hanging on to that solid 3rd position, seemed to have everything under control, and unfortunately it's not going to be his day as we go back to the start there. Now you can see that Jonas is right up on the outside of Thani Al-Quamsi, the lead driver out there this afternoon. So is this going to give Jonas a chance to pounce on him, or is Thani going to have a blinding start as he did after the previous yellow, where he just left everybody standing? So it's going to be really interesting to see on this restart now. Will Jonas be able to take the lead of this race in the next couple of 3 laps?
I know Thani's tough. He pipped on the start. He worked his way a long way away from Comparato, but this is in a second opportunity for the wily veteran from Sweden, if he can kind of figure out a way to take advantage of the outside lane. If Thani has the choice, of course, as the leader of the event, to decide if he wants to stay on the inside or outside, depending on how we drop the location of the green flag on the restart. Will it be the advantage to be on the inside or the outside? Obviously, you would think the inside, because it's a shorter route around the pins, but at the same time, it depends on when you're going to drop the green flag. And the hand is on the yellow flag here, right off to our left. Stephen Michael and Jonathan Jones with you, the Information Brothers with you today. Glad you're with us all around the world. Hello to Australia. They're about 12:30 in the morning. And hello to America. Breakfast in America at 9:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 Central. And yes, UTC, everybody in the UK enjoying the afternoon at about 1:30. So lunchtime in the UK, Jonathan.
Yeah, and I bet that Sean at the moment in that third slot, he can't believe his luck because he dropped about 10 seconds behind first and second boats of Thani and Jonas there.
The green flag's back out.
Away, Steve.
Now they came off and they go down the back straight away. And there's Thani Timsey. I'm getting so excited I can't say his name anymore after 22 years. But Thani takes off. Now Jonas Anderson to the outside. Sean Torrente doing his best to close up. But Jonas got a good jump on him. Sami Celio now trying to steal his way into the top three in the podium. And it's not happening as the top three pretty much still in about that same position. Oh no, Duarte Benavente off our screen is coming out of the race. He struggled all weekend long and all year long, but the likable Portuguese driver is dropping out of the event.
But look at the start that Thani's had there again. He's out of shot at the moment. He's running such a strong pace out there. Now he's got some nice clear water ahead of him for the next 2 or 3 laps, so he may be able to slowly but surely improve on that gap. You can see there Jonas Anderson going through turn number 3 there. Sean Torrente doesn't seem to have an answer for him at the moment, Steve. He was a lot closer on the last lap, but those two lead boats of Thani and Jonas, they seem to be able to, at the moment anyway, to be able to pull away a little bit from Sean in that third slot.
Almost at the halfway point of this event. 35 laps now in the record books. We're halfway home of the 70-lap affair this afternoon here on the Bay of Olbia. We're glad you're with us, enjoying the day. We are in lovely Sardinia in Italy. And there you see Sami Celio. Celio, a 2-time world champion, 2007, 2010. Celio today is starting his 166th start of his career. And for Celio, he's got 13 wins in his career, but he hasn't won in 23 races. He hasn't won since 2016. He just loved to turn things around. He's down in that 4th spot. Jonas Anderson sitting in the 2nd spot. Trenti back to 3rd. Interesting, Ferdinand Zanderbergen, he's moving up. He's the guy who won the race last race out. He's a rookie from the Netherlands, the first driver in 3 decades from Holland. He's gone from 8th to 5th. And also Alec Vextrom, I don't know what happened to him early. He disappeared. He was down here in about the 13th spot, but he's climbed his way back up into the 7th spot. He's another one of those young sharks fighting for Rookie of the Year award, and he's looking good right now for the Gilman Racing Team.
Yeah, but such is the pace at the moment, Steve. Look, you've got lap 37, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the top 6, and then you've got in 7th position, you've got Wexstrom. No, Wexstrom actually, Steve, just look down here in that 7th, and he's actually a lap down, so he seems not to have the pace that he has had in the last couple of three races. As we go back there to the front, we're picking up Philippe Jap, the 3 times World Formula 1 champion from France, who doesn't seem to have had everything his way. Talking to Philippe Desertan earlier today, and I said, what happened in qualifying yesterday? Because in free practice, my goodness, was he fast. And he said that the steering system had started playing up, and when he was turning the wheel, the boat was carrying straight on. And of course, it put him out of qualifying. And if you do not qualify in those top 2 or 3 positions here with this tight circuit, it's so difficult to make up ground.
All right, back in the race trim here, almost 40 laps gone. And look at Philippe Shep air that boat out as the 3-time world champion has had a miserable year so far. Qualified 9th, finished 9th. Dropped out of the 2nd race of the season, the first of a doubleheader 3 weeks ago in San Nazaro. Qualified a nice 3rd the 2nd time in a row in Italy in that weekend, but he finished 8th. He had a prop change problem. He went back in and came out, and he came storming up the field. But he would just, I think, be tickled pink if he can finish up in the top 5 today.
Yeah, but such is the pace of Jap that he just doesn't seem to be able to close down on Zandbergen, Ferdinand Young. Zandbergen there, who won, as you said, the last Grand Prix, drove an absolute blinder out there. And for a young rookie driver, Steve, we haven't seen a guy showing this form for quite some time now, have we?
Yeah, we really haven't. And Jonas Anderson has set the fast lap of the race. So he's in hot pursuit here of the leader, Thaniel Quimsey. And as they come whistling through, there's Philippe Shep. Again, his teammate is not here this weekend, Peter Morin, who is in his 5th season. got COVID-19 and he couldn't come. What a shame for him, as it's only a solo for the CTIC Shenzhen China team. A tremendous team. We say hello to Eric Chan, who's back in Hong Kong. He is the team director, the manager for that team, and we expect to see him shortly. Maybe by the time we get to Shenzhen, it'd be great to see him come back. We haven't seen him in 2 years, actually, Jonathan, as you look at this man, Jonas Andersson, with Team Sweden. And again, he's looking for his second podium of the year.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be able to make a lot of ground up. 2.55 seconds now between Jonas and Thani Alquamsi. Backmark is going to come into play again in the next 4 to 5 laps. We're 43 laps out of 70 of this Grand Prix run altogether, and Thani just seems to have the edge. He seems to have that punch, being able to get through the back markers just a little bit quicker than Jonas. Jonas dropped back down a little bit again now, Steve. 2.85 between first and second.
All right, Thani Alquamsi, who you saw on your screen. Here's Jonas Andersson, the leader of the race. Thani has only got 2 wins in his last 17 races, but he's had 10 podiums in those 17 races. So it's like, if you don't, you don't win every time, but you gather up points a lot. He finished within 1 point of winning his first World Championship. Thani Alquamsi, this is his 20th year, and today he is looking to hit the win column in double digits. He's got 9 career victories, and this is his 145th start.
Yeah, he's been knocking on the door for such a long time now, and he's no question about it, he's one of the top 3 drivers in the world today. And sometimes luck hasn't gone his way, and last year, as you said, we thought halfway through the season that there was a good chance he would become the first Emirati to win the world title for forever, and doesn't quite make it. But back to the front there, Thani looking very, very strong, seems to have everything under control and seems to be able to hold that gap. He's now up 3.48 seconds. Jonas does not have an answer for that lead bolt at the moment.
Yeah, Thani was the only one in that field that last time around who ran a sub 30-second lap, and now the next lap along here, it was Jonas Andersson who did a sub 30-second lap, so he's trying to catch up to him. It's kind of tit for tat as they fight back and forth between the two of them, and they try to gain any kind of advantage. It's down to 2.67 seconds, Jonathan, so we'll see what happens here. Jonas threw down a flyer the last time around. He did it in anger, and he's trying to figure out any which way to catch up, but he better hurry up because we've got 47 laps gone, and we've got 70 total. So if my math is correct, and I was not good at math, 23 laps to go.
Steve, with the situation is as it is at the moment, we are in the last but 2 rounds of the World Championship. We're over to the Middle East now shortly for the final 2 events of the year there in Sharjah. We've got Thani in first, Jonas in second, Sean Tarente in third. Where's that positioning Tarente at the moment? Because he does have a fairly solid lead in the World Championship. Would he be happy just to come home third, and would it still open the gap between him and the other 2 front drivers there?
No, he'd love to finish on the podium again. He'd get a total of 12 points. He would lose 8 points to Thani if Thani wins today, and everything stays the same. He comes in with a 17-point margin, so you shave off 8 of those, so it's down to within 9 points between those 2, and that's not much because we're heading off to Sharjah in mid-December with back-to-back doubleheader Grand Prix ahead of us in mid-December, and 40 points are up for grab. Remember, you get 20 points for a victory, 15 for second, 12 for third, 9 for fourth, all the way down to a point in that 10th spot. So
there's that ding-dong battle. Sorry to interrupt there, Steve. Ding-dong battle there with Sami Seljo still hanging on to that 4th position. Would dearly love to have a podium here. Team Sharjah just down the road from Team Abu Dhabi. A lot of competition in there in the Middle East. So we've got Abu Dhabi first, Abu Dhabi third, and then Sharjah probably 10 or 15 miles away from Abu Dhabi in that 4th position at the moment. So very, very strong showing from the Middle East teams this afternoon here in Sardinia.
Sean Tarente, as you watch him, won the world title 2018, 2019 in dramatic fashion as he won on the last lap of the last race of the season when Philippe Shep dropped out. He finished behind the winning boat, Jonas Andersson, and he finished second. They tied with identical points in 2019, but overall throughout the season, Tarente had a better record and he was on more podiums, so he was handed the victory, even though they finished dead level in the championship. And for the three-time national champion, he's now a two-time world champion. And he was a world champion in 2020 because we didn't have a season.
That's absolutely right. As you can see, their back markers getting out of the way there. Jonas still hanging on in second position. He's now back down to 2.54, so he definitely has closed the gap. But Steve, it's going to be one thing catching the Emirati driver Thani Al-Kwamsi there with Team Abu Dhabi. It's going to be another thing actually overtaking him. So it's pretty much even Stevens for the last 5, 6, 7 laps there. As you see Jonas there coming through on the inside of one of those back markers, pushing as hard as he can. Doesn't seem to be able to close that gap at the moment.
Yeah, it's really the battle between first and second, because Tarente is a good 10 seconds behind Jonas Anderson, and Celio's 3 seconds behind him too. So you've got two different battles going on in the race course right now between him, the leader, Thani Al-Kwamsi, the driver from Abu Dhabi, driving for Team Abu Dhabi. And he is looking for, as we talked about, his third podium in 4 races. Sean Tarente, on the other hand, is looking for his 4th straight top 3 finish this year, which would keep him, yes, in that #1 position. Not really in the catbird seat, but feeling pretty comfy right now if he keeps adding the points. And he said before the race, as we take a look with, it looks like it's Janie, isn't it? Talking to her husband, Jonas Anderson, saying, get on the horse, get moving. It's 3.15 seconds. Stay under 3 seconds, and that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, she's giving Jonas a little bit of guidance. They work really well, husband and wife there. And she's on the radio to him at every Grand Prix, and she's telling him exactly where Thani is, explaining that there's not too much pressure from behind at the moment from Sean in that 3rd position. It's now dropped to 14 seconds, Steve, between the top 2 boats and Sean Tarente in 3rd position. So Tarente, he either has some kind of a problem, because we normally see him right up there at the sharp end, or is he working out the points as he goes around and seeing exactly where he needs to finish to try and get extra points for this World Championship this year?
Good question. I'm starting to get a little nervous for the driver from Florida. Celio's now 2 seconds back of Tarente. He's still rolling, but obviously when the day ends, he's going to tell us he couldn't run at 100%. He stays just about 2.5 seconds ahead of Celio in that 3rd place battle for the last place on the podium. And Jonas again is on the fly. Wow, it's down to 2.15 seconds. Jonas Anderson is turning the wick up with 13 laps left to go in this 70-lap affair. We're glad you're with us today. Stephen Michael, Jonathan Jones with you. It's our 21st year of working side by side. He's the analyst, I'm the host. We hope you're enjoying all the action from lovely Sardinia in Italy. What a great place, as this is the 11th Grand Prix here in Sardinia over the years, in our 43rd race in Italy. And Jonathan, there's been 34 different Italian drivers who have started in this circuit. As you take a look at Juma Al-Kwamsi, he's on there. There's Guido Capellini next to him. Let's listen to Juma as he talks to the leader.
Prix just switched off Juma there, but at the moment, Steve, isn't he doing a great job there? They work so well as a team. They've been together now for something like 15 years, and Juma always on the radio to Thani and just doing a great job out there. As we see, Jonas is starting to close, Steve.
He's coming closer and closer as he makes the move. Jonas Anderson is on the attack. He is trying to close up on the leader. He's pushing as hard as he can as he works his way through this circuit. He knows he's running out of time, and there's a problem with the boat pulling off the race course. Over on the far side, Jonathan, we've lost another competitor over by turn number 7 on the outside. And what a great run. Jonas is doing his best. He's closing up just a tad. And is that Maurice Stromoy pulling off the race circuit? It's hard to tell from our vantage point. No, it's Sami Celio. Oh my, the Finnish star who was trying to chase down Sean Tarente, fighting for that 3rd place position. And for Sami Celio, misery continues for the 2-time world champion. He failed to finish the 1st race. He crashed out in the 2nd. 3rd, he crashed out in qualifying, didn't even race it today. Another DNF. What a miserable last 5 years Celio has had. And I'll tell you what, though, he puts together a wonderful Sharjah racing team. But today, the driver, the Finnish star, The Finnish flyer has come and clipped his wings. He's done.
That's right, but it now moves on. Bergen Ferdinand, the young driver we have spoken about earlier on today, he's moved up to that 4th position, so still one of the Team Sharjah boats running, and here we are back to the front again. That number 1 boat of the current world champion Jonas Andersen doing everything humanly possible to close the gap. The gap is still 2.94 seconds with 8 laps to go now, Steve, so if he's going to have to make a move, he's going to have to do it shortly, and Thani at the moment with some clear water ahead of him seems to have everything under control.
Jonas Andersen literally has about 4.5 minutes to do it because there's only 8 laps left to do. He's going to have to figure out a way to get closer and closer. He's getting close. He can smell the exhaust coming out, the fumes of Thaniel Quimsey in front, but he is not there. He did. He improved by 0.6 of a second. Jonas needs to do it again and again and again and again, and then we will see if he can put enough pressure to figure out a pass.
I think
Try another dummy.
Sorry, Steve, I think Jonas is on the move there. We see his wife talking to him on the radio. She's telling him he's 2.37 seconds now. You've got Jonas on the outside, Thani on the inside. He's doing everything humanly possible to try and close that gap. But as we speak, 2.61 seconds and 6 laps to go. It's going to be a tall order.
All right, as we watch the intensity heat up, it's wrenching up here in the final few minutes as they both rocket down in the straightaway as they put themselves into position coming into turns number 5, 6, and heading down to 7. Here on the front straightaway, we'll count out with just 5 laps left to go. Thani El Quimsey doing his best to win from pole position. Jonas Andersen wrenching it up, putting the pressure on even more for the driver from Abu Dhabi, looking for his 10th career victory.
Thani, fingers crossed. I bet he's got his toes crossed. He's just hoping to goodness as Jonas again seems to be able to close that gap. It's now under 2 seconds with 5 laps to go. You've got Jonas on the outside. Goodness, he's trying everything. He's trying to do some of those moves that he did in Comparato earlier on, trying to dummy a little bit on the outside. Thani watching him in his mirrors, and then he cuts through to the inside. But whatever he does not seem to be able to close that. There's always that 2 second cushion between first and second.
All right, around this rectangle we call a small bull ring, and it is. It's the smallest race course that we have had in many, many years. 1.2 kilometers, less than a mile around, and it's been pretty exciting as we watch these drivers do their best to cut through traffic. But right now, with less than 4 laps to go, 3 laps in the record book still to have, Thaniel Quimsey, there's no traffic ahead. He's got a hole shot. He can cruise his way to the final without having to worry about driving through back markers. Jonas Andersen hoping against hope. He's got to within 2.1 seconds, but that is not enough as he's lost a bit of ground. It's 2.5 seconds now almost. So Jonas Andersen, knowing with just a few laps remaining, he's going to have to figure out a way to find more speed and hope he can push and pressurize Thaniel Quimsey for him to break down to come up with a victory.
My goodness, these 2 drivers, Steve, they have been the class of the field all weekend. No disrespect to Sean Torrente at all, because he's hanging there now, still in that 3rd position, and he knows he has to gain a lot of points again at this Grand Prix if he wants to win that World Championship. So he's running probably quite a tactical race out there. He felt it would be one thing to catch up with Jonas, another thing to actually overtake him. So very tactical driving on Torrente's part, I think. And let's be honest, as you see Jonas and Thani, they've almost been glued together for this entire Grand Prix. 70 laps in Sardegna, Steve. 1 lap to go.
This is the final lap as they work their way down. Almost just a half a mile to go as they push their way down in the corner. Jonas Andersen hoping against hope that something will happen dire to Thaniel Quimsey. But as Thaniel Quimsey, he circles out of the final corner. He heads for fame and glory in the checkered flag, and Thaniel Quimsey wins his 10th career victory, his 2nd in Italy, and he tastes victory for the first time this year as Thaniel Quimsey charged his way from the pole position today, dominated the race on his terms, and came home with almost a 3-second victory. And look at Juma Al-Khamisi. He has his eyes and ears on the race course. He's done as much as anybody else to get Thani safely through. And Sean Torrente comes home on the podium 16 seconds back. There's Guido Capellini. He's happy. Why? Both of his drivers have reached the podium again as he looks for his 6th straight year of a team championship for Team Abu Dhabi. They're well on their way. And for Sean Torrente, he was happy to just get big points today. He did that. He didn't have to win. But Thani Al-Quimsi, his teammates, shaving off that 17-point lead. It's down now to 9, and oh my. We got 40 points left up for grabs in the 2 races and a big, unique doubleheader that we're going to have in Sharjah mid-December. This championship is far from over, and boy, teammates are going to be fighting tooth and nail to see who might be able to win the World Championship, and Jonas Andersson is still in the mix as the driver from Sweden still has a shot at it. And really, 3 boats have got an excellent chance to come home with a title. So it'll be 3 drivers fighting for that World Championship. We got a long way to go, Jonathan. And I'll tell you something, that was exciting. Okay, a lot of people are saying the race course is too small. It's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. It worked fantastic. And we saw a lot of passes and a lot of intrigue today on this 70-lap race. The first 70-lap race that we've had since 2007 in Shenzhen in China. And with that comes the victory for Thani Al-Quimsi. He gets into double digits, and he now wins for the 10th time. And what a great day as he pretty much comes up and equals Sean Torrente's World Championship. He's 1 behind him now. Torrente has, I should say, win column. Torrente has 11 wins. Thani now has 10. But more importantly, he's now 9 points adrift of the leader, Torrente, his teammate. And it should be a fun anticipation for Sharjah coming up in December.
Tell you what, the way that Thani ran today out there, I've got to say, I mean, that pole position he got yesterday was absolutely outstanding. He was the class of the field, and you can see him there. Oh, very, very happy, big smile on his face. But what a great result for Team Abu Dhabi there. 1st and 3rd, as you said, both boats up on the podium, and all to play for. 2 rounds to go, and there's going to be a lot of battles there between those 2 drivers, as well as Jonas, the current world champion. As you can see that Sean Torrente there congratulating Thani for that win here. And if he puts that sort of performance up for the next 2 Grand Prix, I tell you now, Sean's going to find it pretty tough.
I'll tell you what, this is another case of deja vu. We've seen this before. 2018, remember, with Eric Stark on board, 3 drivers from Team Abu Dhabi with a chance to win the title in the very last weekend in Sharjah. Sean Torrente was lucky enough to do it. If I remember right, I think Thani Al-Quimsi dropped out of the event. And at the same time, we've seen this before. We're seeing it again. Now, as we watch our winner today, Thani Al-Quimsi, who's got 10 victories on hand, let's look a little bit down farther on the order. A good day for Alec Vekstrom, my word. The young shark, the driver from Finland, who went all the way down to 13th position, came charging back up, Jonathan, and he finished up in the 4th spot. He was only 18 seconds away from the winner, and behind him was Ferdinand Zandbergen. As we take a look here at the final standings of the race this afternoon. Again, 20 points for the win. Jonas Andersson and Torrente in double figures. Vekstrom picks up another 9. And Zandbergen, who won the race last time out. And these 2 rookies are fantastic to watch, and they're going to carry it all the way to Sharjah. As Marit Stromoy came up, finished 7th. Actually, she started 7th, so she fell down in the order, came charging back up. And looks like another nice day for the Maverick team, as Cedric de Guin finished in the 8th place, and his teammate Bourgault finished in 9th. 2nd straight race in a row for them, picking up points. Sami Celio, what can you say? Heartbreak for him one more time for the Finnish driver. Duarte Benavente struggling this year, doing his best to try to even finish a race. Bartek Marzoak dropped out early. Philip Rams was gone also in just 19 laps. And, of course, Kali Vipo was gone in the very first lap. So a shame for the bottom drivers, as always. But more importantly, we got a heck of a battle going on for Rookie of the Year between the 4 young Sharks with Alec Vekstrom and Ferdinand Zandbergen, and also Kali Vipo had a bad day, but also the French driver Alexandre Bourgault. And here's the team championship battle at the moment. It's a runaway. Team Abu Dhabi looking to win their 6th straight team championship title. Doubled it up on Team Sweden, who finished 10th today in second place. Sharjah team down in third. CTIC China team with 31 points, and a shame they lost one of their drivers, Peter Moran, this weekend because of COVID. Gilman Racing with 30 points. The Maverick team picking up more points for the French team. Stromoy today got 4 more points for her team after her teammate dropped out. Camperado, what a disappointing day for the young Italian who felt the pressure of being an Italian here in a race in Italy, knowing he was the only Italian. Now, when you were racing, as we take a look now unofficially at the Drivers' Championships right now, again, you can see it's a 9-point bulge between the two Team Abu Dhabi drivers, with Torrente with 2 wins and 2 podium thirds. He's been on the podium every race this year. Consistency wins championships, but Quamsi with a victory today knows that victories will win him the championship in the end if he can take it all the way to the final race. Jonas Andersson stays right in the picture. He's 18 points back. He's gained 3 on Torrente today. He's going to need to do a little bit more than that, but we've seen miracles out of Jonas Andersson. Zanderbergen, here's the rookie with 34 points, just 4 points ahead of Mr. Alec Vekstrom, who is in the 5th spot. Peter Moran, as we mentioned, not with us today because of COVID. He's down in 6th spot. Cedric Teguin's moving up. Philippe Shep dropping down. And Kali Vipo was not a factor today. Maurice Stromoy got 4 points today. Camperado, of course, he dropped out. And Marzlag, he dropped out. And Bourgault gained a few more points for the rookie. He's still up for Rookie of the Year. And Sami Celio, well, that's about figuring what his season is right now. And Rams, of course, his first race back in 2022 was running fairly well in a brief stint in 19 laps, but he dropped out and finished 14th today. No points for the Finnish youngster.
Well, Steve, what do you reckon? First time back in Sardinia for quite some time. They've already signed a deal, I understand, for the next 3 or 4 years, which is going to be great. So good to be back here. And boy, that championship, as you said, it's still pretty much wide open with 2 to go.
I'll tell you what, 70 laps today. We expected to have it a bit of a marathon, but this race course, the smallest in recent history, 1.2 kilometers. Let's look back on those 70 laps. It didn't take long to run, I'll tell you, as these drivers on this small bull ring were geared up. We had 2 starts at the beginning of the event. We had the first 10 boats taking off with the lights coming down. And then the second start was held 3 to 4 seconds later, so the second group took off. They were a bit nervous, Jonathan, about getting all 15 boats down into the commitment buoy over on the east side of the course, but it wasn't a factor. It worked out well. The race director figured out that it would be great. So let's look back on the highlights of today's 4th round of this championship in the UIM Formula One World Championship here for the Grand Prix of Italy, the Regione Sardegna here in Olbia. Great crowd on hand, thousands along the waterfront as they take off, and right away you can see that Fabio Camperado, or make it Alberto Camperado, jumped off, nosed ahead, but he had to back off, Jonathan, because he had the outside lane, and Thaniel Quimsey jumped at the advantage, took off, held his line, went around the commitment buoy, and quickly jumped out to about a 10 boat length margin, and right away we lost Kali Vipo. He was gone in lap number 1, so that reeled everybody back in, and this gave Jonas Andersson a thought maybe he can take advantage of the situation after a wonderful start that got him around Sean Torrente, and off they took, and you can see the leader way over on your left. There he goes, Thaniel Quimsey. And Alberto Camperado, and then Jonas Andersson in 3rd. Torrente being regulated back to the 4th position, and he was being chased at the time after Jonas Andersson worked his way around Camperado. And then late in the race, Camperado pulled out, and Sean Torrente went around him on the 28th of 70 laps today. So what a shame for the young Italian. All eyes were on him, and he left with major disappointment, hoping to pick up his first World Championship win. On the restart, look at the difference between first and second place. Thani L. Quimsey just motored his way and scythed his way through back markers, with Jonas Andersson desperately doing what he could to try to stay up close. but the real estate kept going farther and farther in the direction of the leader. He kept pulling away. As you look at Philippe Shep, 3-time world champion with the CTIC China team. And for Shep, he ended up finishing in the 6th position this afternoon. And there you can see Torrente trying to figure out what he had to do. He finally realized that he wasn't going to finish with a victory today. So he set into a pace, but he had to keep Sami Celio behind him. And Celio's crew were a bit nervous of their driver as Celio was hanging in there. He got within 2 seconds of Torrente at one point. It looked like he might figure out a way to go by, but at the same time, just moments afterwards, Celio would disappear from the race as the leader, Thaniel Quimsy, out in clear water, did a masterful job of working his way around some of the slower back markers, setting up a pace, and his radio man, Jumal Quimsy, talking with him the whole time, being his eyes and ears and setting him up. And look at the lead that he finally established here at about the 3/4 pound. And as he finally came around and he came across, and look at the excitement with Team Abu Dhabi. Guido Cappellini, the winningest driver in Sardinia with 5 victories, a 10-time world champion. And for him, he's got to be excited. Another chance to win the team championship, as well as one of his drivers, hopefully one of the 2, are going to come home with the champion one day's end.
Yeah, very experienced team, that, no question about it. They just don't seem to put a foot wrong, do they? They've got the reliability, they've got the pace, and they're pretty much always there at the end, Steve, aren't they? And much as Jonas tried to close down and do everything humanly possible there to close that gap with Thani, he seemed to have that 2.5 second cushion right the way throughout the entire race. And as you pointed out, Juma there on the restarts, doing a fantastic job, you know, getting Thani on the restart, so that he built up that gap and that cushion, and he had clear water ahead of him, and he pretty much had the whole race under control.
Yeah, you pretty much explained it last night. You and I were chit-chatting about that over a refreshment, and we're discussing how important really the eyes and ears of a radio man is. Some drivers like to have it quiet. Others like to have a chatterbox telling him what to do, and Juma is by far a chatterbox. He's not a quiet individual by any means.
Oh, you know, yesterday in qualifying, we had the radio, we had the TV camera fixed on Juma. He had no idea. He told me last night. He said, I had no idea. He said, I was so focused on Thani and getting him around the circuit and egging him on. And my goodness, he was giving him a ear blasting, wasn't he? And it was just great to see those two, the coordination between the two of them. And it obviously works very, very well. And yeah, they've done a good job there. Team effort there today between those two, the radio man and the actual driver himself.
Another solid effort today for the Maverick team, the French team coming out of the water. Again, for the 2nd straight race, Cedric Deguine and Alexandre Bourgault got points, finishing 8th and 9th.
Yeah, you know, you talked about them. I mean, they are really consistent, aren't they? They may not be the fastest out there. They're midfield runners, but, you know, they're finishing all the Grand Prix and they're doing a great job out there. And you can see slowly but surely they're working up the points, not only for themselves, but also in the team championship, which is very important when it comes to the end of the season.
Nice, enthusiastic fans enjoying the festivities, waiting for the ceremony to begin here on the podium, as we've got hundreds of fans gathering around the podium here. And we're just moments away from starting. Let's go down to the podium, Jonathan.
And there we have the director of the event here, who's
enthusiastic.
Very enthusiastic. Yeah. You know, it's great to see all these new countries coming on board and utilising Formula One powerboat racing to promote tourism. I mean, it's a big thing with Sardinia, and as we mentioned earlier on in the program, you know, we're going to Lake Toba in Indonesia, and they're using this sport to promote the country globally for tourism, and you know, that's fantastic. And hopefully, I hear we got a lot more countries coming on board next year as well, looking at something similar. They've been here checking out how Sardinia are doing this to promote the island, and you know, hopefully that's going to be a big thing going forward.
Porto Cervo was our first race. You actually won that back in 1994. We raced 3 years in a row, just up the road in Porto Cervo, a lovely vacation spot. And as the years went on, we raced 7 races in a row in Cagliari, and that was such a wonderful southern Sardinian place. Totally different than here, but the beaches, of course, and it's the tradition and the history. It's really a lovely island. There's Casimiro San Germano, who is one of the 3 sons of Niccolo de San Germano, who has run this series for almost 40 years.
Con calma,
as more of the dignitaries come up.
Forti, allora cominciamo immediatamente con I primi 3 classificati.
Again, it's been 18 years since we have been here in Sardinia.
Al terzo posto per gli Emirati Arabi Uniti.
It is great to be back here. I mean, the passion of the Italian people in powerboat racing. You know, we were in Italy, as we see there. Sean Torrente, Steve, in that 3rd slot, doing a great job out there today.
Torrente picks up his another podium. He's got 29 podiums on his career in his 59 starts. Good for him. And again, consistency. That's the 4th straight podium in a row that he has reached this year. And tell you what, he's got 20 podiums now in his last 27 finishes. 20 out of 27. Wow, that's almost 80%. There's Jonas Andersson, who had a miracle finish last year. He didn't score any points in the only race we had in Italy last year, and went 2 for 2 from the pole and pulled off a magical effort to win. And now Thaniel Quimsey climbing to the top step. It's his first race since his win since his last time in Italy, which was last year in San Nazaro. Qualified 2nd and finished 1st, so 2 wins in a row in Italy for Thaniel Quimsey. He's got to be pretty happy with coming to this lovely country.
Oh, for sure, and he knows, like we mentioned earlier on today, that he's in with a shout for the championship. And my goodness, no disrespect to any of the other drivers, but you know, Abu Dhabi and the Emirates have been so strong, haven't they, Steve, over the years? Wouldn't it be great to see an Emirati actually win the world title this year?
Here's the living legend, Guido Cappellini, now team manager of Team Abu Dhabi. As I said, they're looking for their 6th straight team championship. And hugging both of his drivers, it's almost a regular rendition of getting not 1, but 2 of his drivers on the podium if they finish the race. So Guido Cappellini, who has won more races than anybody in the history of the sport here in Sardinia, is the team manager, and he gets the victory flag. And Torrente will get the 3rd place trophy. Lovely trophies, by the way, Jonathan. Something, a nice keepsake that you will cherish and put in the righteous place at home, I'll tell you. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and we've seen over in Abu Dhabi where the club is there. I mean, as you walk into the foyer, they have hundreds of trophies that they've accumulated over the years in Formula 1 powerboat racing and other sports, of course. And it's amazing to see how that country have done in motorized sports over the last 10, 15 years.
And the biggest and loveliest trophy of them all to the winner, Thaniel Quimsey, as he receives the hardware. Can barely hold it up, it's so big. But a wonderful tradition of racing here in Italy, and Thaniel Quimsey raises it high over his head, as does Jonas Andersson. And now on the podium, team manager trophy is called for the Memorial Bruno Abate, and in honor of the man who made the story of powerboat racing in Italy, and Casimiro de San Germano, as the promoter will give the plaque in the Hall of Fame to the mayor of Olbia eventually here, but that is the memorial for the trophy for Bruno Abate. And now it's time for the Italian
national anthem, Steve.
Exactly.
So, yeah, great event though this weekend, Steve.
Yeah, we had that earlier, and this is of course, the UAE national anthem, and the Italian one was earlier. And in salute, we say goodbye to Italy. Thanks for spending your time with us. For my partner, Jonathan Jones, and our fantastic broadcasting television crew, saying whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever in the world you may be at the moment, you've been watching the most exciting racing entertainment on water, the UIM Formula 1 World Championship. Now, just as a reminder, you can follow all the goings-on in the F1H2O by going to either Facebook, Instagram, or F1.net for the latest news. So on a very momentous weekend here in the Gulf of Olbia and spectacular island of Sardinia in Italy, I'm Stephen Michael saying, enjoy your days and love your life, because life is a journey to be savored. We'll see you in Sharjah in mid-December for the final 2 Grand Prix events and a World Championship to be decided. It will be decided in Sharjah. So long, everybody.
Sul podio, eccoli qua. Ok.
Perfetto. Grazie, non so se siamo ancora in collegamento. Grazie, thank you so much. Grazie mille. E adesso dobbiamo passare alla consegna della parte con i nomi di tutti i vincitori dei Gran Premi che si sono svolti e si svolgeranno.